Hey, it's one of the beautiful fall days. I guess I don't want to think September is fall, but it is fall. And it's, the wind is blowing, kind of cloudy. It's nice. 70 degrees, perfect Minnesota fall day. And that's what I want to talk about is day, but more importantly, morning. More importantly, mercies. More importantly, new every morning. So I want to read you Lamentations. It says, Lamentations 3:22 and 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I shared this the other night at Cowboy Church, and one lady said afterwards, I just wanted to break into singing Great is thy faithfulness. It's like, well, you should have. But I want to talk about it in a different way. So before we get into too much detail, let's talk about the definitions. So the Lord's great love doesn't need a definition because we cannot define it. We love pizza, we love our new shoes, we love the dog, we love a summer day, and we love God. It's all in the same sentence, and it makes no sense. So God's love goes so far beyond what we understand and what we can relate to that it's really hard to understand. But it's the best possible thing that I can ever experience. Consumed. Now, I know some of you probably had a really healthy breakfast. Well, maybe not a healthy. I had oatmeal. I had protein oatmeal. And there was something else on it too. But not that I like it. It's really good for you. But that's what I consumed this morning. I am making a whole bunch of cinnamon rolls and a ton of chocolate chip cookies to take to the State Horse Show. They will be consumed. They will be eaten up. But I think the one thing that we don't talk about enough being consumed is the things that eat us up inside. So we consume things. We eat, we drink, we can go to a buffet and have a great time. But what about the stuff that consumes our heart? We let a lot of things in life consume us. It fills us up. And there's not room for the other good things in life. And then we have compassion. Now, compassion isn't just a feeling sorry for somebody or even an empathy where you're putting yourself in their shoes. Compassion is taking and going a step farther and actually doing what we can to alleviate any issues the other person might have that we can solve. That's compassion. And fail means there's no possible chance of not being successful, which is an awesome idea, especially if you're trying a new food recipe. Can't fail. It's going to be great. Doesn't happen in my world. New, things that are new have not been introduced before. It's recently discovered. It's fresh. It's different. It's unique because it wasn't what you had. Not the old, but the new. And then morning. Every morning, I had this crazy idea for one of my classes. They wanted us to do it, change and do disciplines. A new discipline. And they gave me all these lists of disciplines, and I looked at fasting and said, no, not going to do that. But I did try the 5:30 in the morning, getting up and spending time with God, which for me is totally foreign. It's like a different country, different language, a whole different experience, because I don't really care for mornings, not necessarily. But I found that several things I loved about getting up at 5:30. One is I was still alive, so then I got up, and that's about it. But what I really loved is watching the sun come up. And where I sit in my room, I can watch the sun come up. And that became one of the coolest things, is watching the morning air in the world begin. So Jeremiah was speaking in Lamentations about it, very much time of grief and mourning. Jerusalem had fell into Babylon, and it's a great anguish book, but it's a great hope book. And in this poetic form, Lamentations gives us some of these little nuggets. And that's where, because of God's great love, we are not consumed with the things that take over our hearts and eat at us and devour our contentment and our patience and our faithfulness. Because of God's great love and his compassion is not going to fail. He's going to do what he can to pick up the load that we can't bear. And every morning, when we wake up, we got a new, fresh start. And I think that's one of the coolest things in the world. I want to talk about new, fresh starts. So when I was a kid, we got new shoes every school year, and we got PF flyers. Don't know if you know what PF flyers is. Some of you are way too young, but they were cool. And when we walked in our new shoes, of course, you always wore them out of the store. When we walked in our new shoes, we felt like we were the most awesome people on the face of the earth. Now, I just bought a new guitar a couple weeks ago. Love my new guitar. It still plays the same wrong notes the old guitar played, but we'll work on that. Sometimes people get a new house. We just bought a new to us lake house last year. Absolutely love it. Of course, it's not new, but it's new to us. And then I watch people. We've never, I don't know, maybe we've bought 1 or 2 new cars. Usually we buy them after somebody else has dinged them up and wore them out a bit. But I watch people get a new car and they park, 3 miles out of the parking lot so they can walk in so nobody's going to ding their car. It's because new is exciting and it brings hope. And that goes to say that sometimes the old is boring and you want to get rid of it because you want that hope, which is why sometimes we go to bed at night just to put the old away and wake up in the morning, it's going to be a new morning. But what if, just what if, when we woke up in the morning, the first thing in the morning was what sets our attitude for the day. So we wake up and we say, because of your great love, I am not consumed in what ate me up yesterday. I'm not consumed in what happened yesterday. I'm not going to let yesterday handle me because your compassion got me through yesterday. Your mercies are new today, and I'm going to live in your faithfulness. What if we started our day that way instead of waking up and fretting and worrying and being frustrated about what happened yesterday? Can't change it, a lot of times we can't even deal with it. What if in the morning when we woke up, our mood set our attitude for the day, and it was all about God's great love, that we will not be consumed with the things that happen in life because we have his compassions and they're new every morning. And this morning we have another new morning. I found this saying that I thought was really good. Anxiety comes when we look at our circumstances and then look at our ability. But faith comes when we look at our circumstances and then God's ability. So let me do that again. Anxiety comes when we look at our circumstances and then we look at our ability. But faith comes when we look at our circumstances and see God's ability. So we have a full day ahead of us. Next few 4 or 5 days, we have crazy days ahead of us, and we are excited. We are thrilled. We live for this. It's been, 15, 18 years we've done this. 18 might be a stretch. We don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue, absolutely no clue, but I'm not going to be consumed with it no matter what happens. I already know there's a detour. I already know there's 2 or 3 roads closed. I already know some things. I'm not going to be consumed with them because God's compassions are handling my heart issue and the rest of it's just outward. And this morning I woke up and went down and worked out on my little trusty dusty bike that goes nowhere quickly. And I watched the sun come up and God's mercies started all over again. And I could pray for people, I could love on people because the mercy and compassion of God got me through yesterday. And I know they're not going to fail today because they're new in the morning and I start all over. I will not be consumed with yesterday, and I will not fear today, and I will not dread tomorrow because of God's great love. Have a great one.